Clarissa. We are back in the Limelight. I think this is a third or fourth live we're doing today. I love going live. We're stopped doing the recorded as much because we just love getting the information out to you as soon as possible. We have another extraordinary entrepreneur today. But before we get to that, I do want to remind you that you can see this interview right now. We're going live on 5 Facebooks, YouTube, and Periscope. And once we're done, you're going to want to be able to go over and take a look at it on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Daily Motion, TiVo, and another 100 smart TV apps. Really excited about that. The podcast you'll be able to listen to on, and I got a list, so I got to take a look at it. It's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Pandora, and Podbean. So really cool stuff going on there. I do want to remind you also to get over to, you're going to be, as of March 1st, we're going to be over on pressreader.com. It is a publication aggregator for publications from all over the world. This is the digital magazine. It is in the Limelight with Clarissa, intelligent media for the savvy entrepreneur, with my good friend Orazio Pagani, who is a supercar maker and hypercar maker in Italy. We are going to be having Lady Carnarvon on our next cover. I shouldn't probably tell, but I'm telling because we're so close to our March 1st drop, and Lady Carnarvon owns the Downton Abbey Castle. So great feature about her and Lord Carnarvon as well in the next issue. The next issue, you, as I said, you're going to be able to read on pressreader.com. And I'm very excited also about our collaboration with mynewsdesk.com. They are the place to go to get out your news releases, your press releases, all kinds of information to journalists all over the world. Really, really thrilled with the collaboration there because it is really, truly changing the trajectory of my business. Yay on that. And without further ado, you know, I love talking about female empowerment. You know that that's what we do here a lot. We did have domesticshelters.org on today. You know, I am an ambassador for them. So we were talking about getting the help that women may need there. And generally, my book, as you well know, is called The Self-Esteem Regime. It comes out in a year's time, but it gives you the idea of how we love tracking, and we are very passionate about the position and the condition of women. So with that having been said, I am going to bring in my favorite friend, Mary Pagano. I love this lady and the work that she's doing. She is an angel investor and a board member for Hera Cities, and we're going to talk about that. And for Femme Foundry, she's on the board there as well. So Mary, your bio is extraordinary because you came from corporate. You're a VP of Motorola at one time. You've been in sales. You've been in marketing. You've been in communications. You've been pretty much straight across the board in corporate, and we're doing really well. I mean, your life was pretty well set. You decided at a certain point, you know, I think I'm going to take another road. I'm going to go down another path. Tell us about that. Why did you decide to make such a drastic change?
Oh, you know, being one of the early female VPs and the only woman in the room, I had a lot of very interesting experiences. Luckily, the women today don't have to go through those, but right. I have the 10,000 razor blade cuts, you know, from my whole experience. But it kind of got to the point that I wanted to do everything that I could to help women. Because, you know, even when I worked with women, I still had a challenge. So, you know, we have a little bit of a queen bee issue in our culture. And so for me, it's I feel very passionate about uplifting women in all aspects of living, because COVID just spanked us on our butts and sent us to our room, and we're evaluating how we're living, right? And I think that if we had more women in leadership, we probably would be in a better position, both for planet and the humanity.
Yeah, straight across the board.
Exactly. And if you looked at every country led by women, they're ahead of us in regards to managing the COVID. So women are good at raising kids, taking care of families, building communities, and we need more of that leadership at the table. And that's why I feel so strongly. I made the huge shift of leaving corporate America and getting engaged. And so I'm an angel investor. I've been invested in some businesses. I also female founded. That's really important to me, and that they're big and impactful.
Absolutely.
And so Hera to me right now is one of the most important.
Right.
And my girlfriend, she used to be the CEO for NetJets, and she sold her company to Warren Buffett and decided that she was going to do philanthropy full time. So her family foundation, Mercury Foundation, just invented an algae bottle replacement for plastic. So it'll be food for fish and hummus for land. So they're in the process of starting to market test that and do that. And
Right.
but Hera is her personal foundation, and it's a nonprofit. Everybody volunteers. We've got some amazing people on the team, from the prior president of Ecuador to Bollywood, movie producers.
Right.
Great mix of people, very talented people, and so our focus is to get women to get an education, to make a living, to own their own homes.
Right.
We're project focused,
Right.
and we're announcing a perfume soon, which I'd love for you to interview
And I will. Absolutely. Hera perfume. I can't wait. Exciting. So let me just go down this and explain a second what Hera cities are. It's the actualization of Hera is a physical city. It's a smart green city for the future of humanity in honor of women. And it is a place for tourism, business, and living. So it was going to bring together students and leaders and scientists and innovators, families, artists. And it's a great place for, or will be great place for symposiums, conferences, workshops, and exhibitions. I think that kind of gives people a little bit more of an idea what Hera cities are. Where are you? Where is Hera cities now in the blueprint of things?
Yes. So we have. Well, we were in discussions with Panama. We ran into a bit of a hiccup with the landowner, so we had to walk away. We wanted to be Hera City, not part of his city. So we kind of had to leave that opportunity. We are now talking. The King of Morocco really wants us in the south of Morocco. They're building a new American embassy there as well. It's a new area of Morocco that they're building out. So we're in deep discussions with the King of Morocco. We do have a big investor who would love for us to do it in India, but we haven't identified land. We also had discussions with France, the Rocamadour region, but we found out the land is owned by the army. So not sure that they're willing to give it up, or even if it's appropriate. So
these are the trials and tribulations of getting it up, getting it started, finding a way. Right.
Yes. Right. But we already have investors that are coming on board that we're very excited about it. So now it's just a matter of having that right land. And so anyway, I know.
Where did you say the first one is projected to build?
Well, there's going to be one major city, and then there'll be, small
satellites.
Other locations. Yeah. So we are building a biocultural center in Panama, and the Geoversity property. Nathan Gray owns the jungle. He brought it back to life, and did amazing work down there. So we're doing that. But for the city itself, I don't know if it's going to be in India or Morocco or France. So until the contract is signed for the land,
you never know, do you? You never know. Do you have a book, Mary, that I didn't know about? It's called The Bird of Liberty. And it can be found on Amazon. Can you talk to us a little bit about what Bird of Liberty is all about?
So Emmanuel Pimente has written that book, and I personally have not read it yet. So it's on my.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Yes, you're right. You didn't write it. It is. It's written right there. So terribly sorry. Yes, he did write that book.
He did. And he's also the gentleman I'm doing a webinar for next week who has written 30 books about humanity. And so I'm going to do a little bit of invite people to understand. He is also leading the observatory right now, which is in Kashkai. And he's brought thinkers together around the world, and they're writing, papers and things of that nature. But they're actually going to be developing the curriculum for the university at Hera City. So he's a really bright man, very interesting gentleman. So you're welcome to join us.
Yes, I think I will. I think we've already said that I will. So yes, absolutely count me in. You're creating also a television YouTube channel and a TV channel for Hera City. Wow, exciting. Wow. I mean, it's really the initiatives just keep coming and coming. When are you hoping to launch Hera City TV?
So we're just starting. We're doing it on YouTube right now, and we're mostly interviewing some of the board members, some of the ambassadors, some of the advisors, and a lot of them are doing really great projects around the world. Rosalie is running a human trafficking organization in Mexico. She's got housing for all these kids that are surviving. There's just a lot of really cool projects that everybody is doing. So we're interviewing those people right now, and that's on Hera TV. We also will be interviewing people that have smart city technology, sustainable solutions, also what the culture will be like, what people want for Harris City. So we will be capturing that information in a lot of group discussions and interviews as we build Harris City. So
that is really, really, really cool.
Yes.
My bad, I forgot to put down the ticker, but I do want to do that because if anybody wants some more information, this is exactly where you can get it. The ticker is at the bottom of the video. It is harriscity.org. Get over there to get some more information. I mean, because these are going to be, the major city is they're working on now. They're going to be, I think, satellite cities all over the world, if I understood correctly. Is that right?
It could happen. It could happen.
It could happen. I think
we want to do one brilliantly. I can't even.
Brilliantly. You want to do one really well, Mary, really well. Want to do one real good one, and then the rest of them will fall. I got you back.
I had a meeting with Carrie over at Smart Cities and for the United Nations in Vienna. She goes, "Oh, Mary, we need to take this platform." I said, "Hold on, Carrie. We just got to get one done first."
One done first. I know you're also very passionate about Fem Foundry, so I want to talk about Fem Foundry. Fem Foundry, as I understand it, it's an app first off, and it's women. They go there to connect and to unite and to kind of belong to this community. It is a diverse global platform for modernizing women's networking. It's a really cool space, and I'm sure there's much more to it. Mary, why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, so I think everybody's getting a little bit tired of being stalked on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we can go on and on.
Right.
Fem Foundry was Amy Williams is one of the co-founders out of London, and they had approached me to come join the platform. They wanted women from America and tech, and so I joined as a founding leader. I got so excited about the app. I then invested in it, and I'm on the board. And then I got so excited about it that I then partnered it with Hera. So we wanted a mobile platform for our TV show, and it was a perfect platform to use. And what I've noticed is that there's a bajillion of female organizations around the globe. They're all doing great works in all aspects of living, career, and everything. But there really is no platform to unite them all. And so there's so many that women don't even know about them. Right. And then also too, I think our social media has gotten to be a bit more of look at me, how pretty I am, where I'm traveling to. And I don't know if it's necessarily healthy. And we need to have a platform where we are, instead of knocking off the crowns of women, that we're adjusting them, and that we're all learning and we're all growing and we're, mentoring people around the world. Right. And so we want this platform. There's 51% of the global population is women. And we want them on Fem Foundry. We want women to get united, so they know about the organizations to join, that women can buy from women businesses, that women can find, female funders to fund their businesses. Right. So it's a place for us to also get the voices of all women in regards to how is the city going to be, right? And the city is for all genders, all nationalities, and all religions. But we're going to have, a museum that will tell you about all the unknowns and the anonymouses, right?
How cool is that?
Yeah.
What would you suggest, if you will? What would some of the tips that you can give to women entrepreneurs that are coming up, that are on the rise right now?
Yes, I think what's really important for them is to be as lean as they can, right? And to find those female founders that are interested in funding them. But also too, if you can build out a revenue model within the company that you're starting that creates revenue right away, and there's so many different business models that you could do to drive that revenue. Because I think in a lot of cases, I've seen some of my friends who have started companies and then the VCs have actually kicked them out. That's a hard thing to go through.
Sure. Absolutely.
So I really think if you can surround yourself, with a board of people who are very passionate about taking your business to where you need to go, those are the people that you need to surround yourself. Don't just look for the money. Don't just look for the money, because it's really about the mission that you're trying to accomplish. And you need to really think through of who are those people that you want around you.
Yeah. I had an interview right before you that we talked about company culture and how, company culture is kind of really one of those catchphrases that you hear a lot about, and unless you're in corporate, you're really not that dialed into it. So for solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, that are smaller in nature, what do you think it means for them to be mindful of their, not only their branding, but of their company culture?
Yeah, you know what? Culture can kill a company. I mean, no matter what your size is. And that's why it's really important to have those people that are really there to support you and that really want to make this business a go. And if they have skin in the game, they'll be with you, right? So, you need to treat everybody with respect. And I think sometimes, young entrepreneurs or young leaders have a tendency to lead a little bit more with their ego as opposed to, hey, listen, we're kind of like a family in this. We'll all win, right? So, and if you've got people that really believe in you and you respect them and they respect you, you have a good chance of making it. And I think when it comes down to culture, I learned this from Bob Galvin years ago, one of the best leaders I've ever worked for in my life, bar none. He was the first company to do business in China, actually. And it really got down to the nitty gritty of treating people with respect and taking care of the people on the front line because they're facing the customer. That's what's driving your revenue.
Sure.
So it can be just that simple.
And still to this point, I think when you're talking about corporate and company culture, you've got an HR team. Should you not have somebody that's working out so well, somebody else will deal with it for you. But when you're a solopreneur like I am, or an entrepreneur with smaller businesses, company culture is really important. And I don't know that many companies are dialed into that. And for me, I'm doing the hiring and I'm doing the firing, and it's something I'm learning because I've never had to do those things before. So I find myself at every once in a while a little bit, misplaced or displaced because I want everybody to get along, and I just want everybody to love one another, and everybody should be helping each other out. And of course, that's utopia. It doesn't really quite work that way. But anyway, with that having been said, Mary, I could talk to you all day, but I want to have any of your, first of all, how people might be able to find you should they be interested in connecting with you.
Absolutely. So you can find me at harriscity.org or femfoundry.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. I'm out there. You can find me. So, and I'm happy to talk to you. I love connecting with people around the world, and I'm very serious about helping people get connected to help them be successful. So
absolutely. And you are really such a shining example of what success is. With that having been said, I am going to say thank you for working for and with women. And again, I know that you, much like me, as I said before, we're very passionate about the position and the condition of women around the world. Last minute thought, Mayor, what would you leave women listening to you that might even want to talk to you about potentially angel investing in their business?
Absolutely. You can find me, LinkedIn, FemFoundry, or
what are the qualifications, Mayor? What is it that are you looking for something in particular or a certain niche?
Yeah. So like, for instance, as I've invested in FemFoundry, I'm really focused on those things that can really make a huge impact around the world. I'm not so focused in on what the ROI, what kind of investment, return on my investment. I'm more focused on those things that will make that huge cultural shift and change that will improve humanity and the planet. So if you're in that space, please reach out to me.
That's extraordinary. Wow, Mayor. What a great, I loved you since day. You had me at hello a long time ago. You had me at hello a long time ago, Mary. I just think you're extraordinary. You're really great. And I want to thank you for coming on, and again, for all the work that you're doing for women around the world, for Harris City and FemFoundry. Everyone, you have been listening to Mary Pagano. We are going to be back yet again at the top of the hour with another extraordinary entrepreneur. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. I'll be back in not too long. Mary, you stay right there while I say goodbye, and we'll talk to everybody soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the In the Limelight podcast, intelligent media for the savvy entrepreneur. You can listen to this and all of my podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Pandora, and Inspired News Radio. You'll find all of my videos and the In the Limelight digital magazine on clarissaburt.com. And don't forget to connect with me on social pretty much anywhere. Stay well until we meet again in the Limelight.